An embarrassing performance by the Golden State Warriors. There's no way to spin how bad, how ugly, just how disappointing. This sucked. And there's going to be a few players called out. I'm not going to bring up Steve Kerr. I don't think this was his fault. This was one of those instances where the head coach actually did the right things and his players laid eggs left and right. Officiating did not help. We'll talk about the end of the game in terms of where they totally screwed the Warriors over, but God damn it, man. Every time the Warriors play a team, for whatever reason, that other squad brings out their best night. 3-point shooting, lucky-ass shots, second, third chance. But everything that could have gone wrong for the Warriors tonight went wrong. The Philadelphia 76ers have their 9-game losing streak snapped. The Warriors have their 5-game winning streak snapped. This sucked. And there's a few reasons why for it. Let's break it all down. This is the Golden Days.
They always find something to nitpick, and that's because there's expectations for us to win. It was a pretty crazy night.
Let's go.
In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Come on and break me off. 'Cause I get what I want and I like what I see. If you got
Welcome to the Golden Days. I'm your host for the evening, Cyrus Saatsaz. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at Dog Wild. Over on Twitter, my handle is at Surf Journalist. The program's on both those platforms at Golden Days Pod. Let's give some love to our sponsors for the evening before we get this party rolling. I say party. It's clearly the wrong terminology to apply for this bummer of a night for the Golden State Warriors. If you're looking for an escape, especially after an awful performance like that, go check out. Let me rephrase that. Go travel. Leave town. Get the hell out of Dodge and drive north for 3 to 4 hours, where after you're driving for the last hour or so in one of the most beautiful, lusciously forested stretches of outdoors you can imagine, you will welcome yourself to the paradise that is Humboldt County. It's beautiful. Go check it out. Visit Humboldt.com is the website if you need recommendations for things to do, for places to stay. I will be your personal tour guide as well. DM me either on Instagram or Twitter, and I will give you all the advice I can give from someone who once called Arcata, California home and who still travels up to Humboldt at least once a year because I can't stay away. It's beautiful. It is a home away from home for me, and I hope you enjoy it as well. Visit Humboldt. Go check it out. It's a beautiful place. Today's episode also brought to you by BetOnline, the world's most trusted betting platform. The Golden State Warriors did not cover. I don't even know what the spread was. I can promise you this. With Philly coming to this game with a 9-game losing streak, yeah, I'm pretty sure the Warriors, with a 5-game winning streak of their own, even without Jimmy Butler, were considerably favored, and yet the Warriors lose this one 126-119. So if you bet on Philly, congratulations. But regardless, if you're going to bet, go with the world's most trusted betting platform, BetOnline. The game starts here. And the game did not show up for the Golden State Warriors tonight. Again, the final score, 126-119, a game where Quentin Grimes decided, again, he's not doing this against any other team, but when it comes to the Golden State Warriors, for whatever reason, the Orlando Magic suddenly hits three-pointers when they're one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the NBA. And then Philly, who has a 9-game losing streak, whose morale is dead low, who at this point is probably tanking, because if they finish 7th or worse, they lose their first-round pick. So they're probably aiming for an awful record. Joel Embiid shut down for the year with the knee issues. And yet, despite that, you got schmoes like Quentin Grimes shooting 18 of 24 from the field, 6 of 9 from deep, a career-high 44 points for Quentin Grimes. And the Golden State Warriors did not have answers. I think the stat that captures this game tonight, in terms of providing the most clear-cut picture of what went down, Stephen Curry tonight was a plus 12 in net rating. The Warriors did not lose this game because of Stephen Curry. They lost this game in spite of Stephen Curry. Curry was a plus 12. The rest of the team, minus 19. No one showed up. At least most people did not show up. Flowers are deserved for a select few. Gary Payton II had a great game. He was one of the only guys giving it his all from beginning to end. He deserves flowers. Draymond Green, despite begging for a challenge at the end, and we'll talk about that call in just a moment because that was atrocious, deserves his flowers because without him, the Warriors would not have even kept this close. Draymond finishing tonight with 13 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, did not hit a single three-point shot, which screwed up my underdog ticket. I digress. I think that was the only one I might have missed tonight, actually. Underdog Fantasy, which is an awesome game to play. I'm actually looking up my ticket because if there's anything to look forward to and be excited about, I would say it is playing Underdog. Draymond Green. I bet on him to hit the 3. He was 0 for 2 from beyond the arc, and I lost my ticket. God damn it. Regardless, he still had a decent game in terms of flowers being deserved. I thought Guy Santos played exceptional basketball tonight. The late turnover notwithstanding. And this is where I want to give Steve Kerr his due because he was playing the right players, at least for the most part tonight. And Guy Santos was in there at the end of the game because he was one of the only dudes who showed up tonight and gave energy, was producing. Guy Santos had 14 points, 4 rebounds in this game. So those individuals deserve flowers. Quentin Post, who I was a little perplexed that we didn't see him down the stretch. 24 minutes, 58 seconds for Quentin Post. I thought he could have and should have played more, given he was one of the only guys tonight producing. He deserves his flowers. He was 4 of 9 from deep. Quentin Post finished with 16 points and 9 rebounds. I'm going to talk about Stephen Curry in just a minute, but there were players on the Warriors who deserve a bag full of dog shit, lit on fire, and then the doorbell rung before you hide behind the bushes and watch the frivolities ensue. What I mean by that is there were quite a few players for the Warriors tonight who played like crap and need to be called out for that. 4 players in specific that I have highlighted who are on my shit list for atrocious performances tonight. First up, Brandon Pajemski. And again, this is where Steve Kerr, I'm not putting the blame on him because if Brandon Pajemski was playing down the stretch of this game, if Brandon Pajemski was playing meaningful fourth quarter minutes, I would be livid at Steve Kerr for going with his favorite stepson over more deserving players. But Brandon Pajemski was not in the game late. Brandon Pajemski only played 2 minutes, 26 seconds in the fourth quarter because he played like shit. He played awful. He was a no-show. Defensively, he was letting people blow by him. Quentin Grimes is 44 points. Kelly Oubre Jr. scoring 20 points tonight. Those Yazoo Belly three-pointers. The same dude, that big old, slightly pudgy power forward who was kicking ass for France in the Olympics last summer, was 5 of 7 from deep tonight. He is not a three-point shooter ordinarily. So Brandon Pajemski, I call him out for this because defensively he was not good, no bueno when it comes to Pajemski defensively, and then offensively on a night where Jimmy Butler is on the bench and you need your role players to provide a little extra oomph to give slightly more than you're accustomed to make up for that absence, Pajemski was not doing so. 2 of 8 from the field. 0 of 3 from deep, added 2 turnovers, a player who leads the team in net rating, minus 16 tonight. Brandon Pajemski, 25 minutes, 4 seconds of play, 5 points, 6 rebounds. I believe all 6 of those rebounds came in the first quarter, or certainly the first half. and I actually have those numbers on me. Brandon Podziemski grabbed all 6 of those rebounds in the first half. Where are the first quarter numbers for him? I just want to know what the breakdown was by quarter. Okay, so 3 in the first quarter, 3 in the second quarter. No rebounds in the second half. He laid an egg. Brandon Podziemski sucked tonight, plain and simple. So he failed. Buddy Hield is on my absolute shit list tonight. Buddy, you would think, would have stepped up against his former team. Last time the Warriors played the Kings, Buddy Hield had himself a decent night, if memory serves correct. Tonight, Buddy Hield, 0 for 6 from deep. Let me repeat that. 0 for 6 from deep for Buddy Hield. 0 for 6. They're paying this guy nearly $10 million a year. He has 3 more years after this season on his contract. They signed him for his three-point shooting, and he went 0 for 6 on a night where they desperately needed his offense. Finished the game with 6 points in 16 minutes, 34 seconds. Buddy Hield at the end of the first half, because at the half, the Warriors trailed 67-55. They were getting their butts whipped for the most part in this game, but the first half was particularly bad. And Buddy Hield in the first half had 0 points. 0. Finished the game with 6. So Podziemski, congratulations. If they had an award for worst players of a game, what do they call those in Hollywood? Razzies? You would have won that equivalent award for the Warriors tonight, for the job you did. Buddy Hield, I think you would have been the runner-up. If you hadn't laid so many damn eggs all season, you would be the easy winner. But I think most people have come to expect this mediocrity, this atrocious play from Buddy Hield. So no surprises there. But again, they needed him. He did not deliver. I have 4 players who are on the shit list tonight. Those 2 aren't it. They're not alone. Kevin Knox II, who's been lighting it up for Santa Cruz all season. Kevin Knox had the opportunity to play and really shine and show the Warriors that he's deserving of a guaranteed deal this season, that he's worthy of playing meaningful minutes. And Steve Kerr gave it to him. That was another reason why I'm not criticizing Steve Kerr tonight, because we saw Kevin Knox play early minutes. In the first half of this game, Kevin Knox played 7 minutes, 24 seconds. He rewarded Steve Kerr with that trust, with those minutes, by putting up a whopping 1 point and a -14 in net rating. Those were his first half numbers, and those were his final numbers, because when you play like that in the first half, the coach is not going to trust you anymore. So bravo to Kevin Knox for getting your shot and failing when you had it. That's the difference between people who make it in the NBA and people who don't. You only have so many opportunities to show whether or not you're deserving of that NBA contract. Kevin Knox failed in that department. And I see a couple people in the chat want me to call Moses Moody out. I'll make him fit. I don't think he deserves to be on the shit list, because I of all the players who were awful, I wouldn't say Moody was awful. He wasn't great, but he wasn't awful either. I'm not going to, and we could talk about Moody in just a second. But the 4th player on my list is Pat Spencer, because Pat Spencer only played 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And he's another example of someone who got his number called with meaningful minutes in this game. Pat Spencer was also playing early in this game. His 3 minutes, 20 seconds also came in the first half. Rewarded that with not making a single bucket. His 1 3-point attempt was way off the mark. I can't remember if he airballed it or if it just nicked something, but it was an awful shot, awful look. And he was a -9, scored 0 points in 3 minutes, 20 seconds. If any of those 4 players had done anything remotely representing what a successful NBA player who contributes consistently, if any one of those 4 players resembled a competent NBA player, the Warriors are extending their winning streak to 6 games. None of those 4 showed up. And as a result, the Golden State Warriors lose a game they should have won. They blow a chance to be in sole possession of the 6th seed. Instead, the Warriors are still, I think, 7th. We'll talk about the standings in just a second. Julie Bashir in the chat's asking, why can't the Warriors have a Quentin Grimes? Here's the thing. Quentin Grimes this season has not been playing like this. It just so happens when he saw the Warriors, he decided, oh, I'm going to score a career high in scoring because I'm playing a team that's smaller than most. I don't know what the real reason was, but he showed up tonight. He wasn't even hitting his free throws. Quentin Grimes from the free throw line tonight was 2 of 8. Still scored 44 points and broke the Warriors back. Unreal, man. This was one of the most frustrating games because Stephen Curry, who was our Underdog Fantasy player of the game tonight, Stephen Curry followed his 56-point performance with 29 points on 5 of 12 shooting from deep. The 76ers were triple teaming him the entire night. But the 76ers are also an awful defensive team. Stephen Curry was very aware of that, which is why Steph finished with 13 assists. If you were paying close attention to this game, Philly is not a good defensive team. And every time the Warriors made an extra pass, they got easy buckets. You also saw more of those missed layups we've been seeing all season. I know Draymond was guilty of that. Moses Moody was guilty of that. Guy Santos, Quentin Post, Brandon Pajemski, GP2, Kevon Looney, all of them were guilty of missed layups tonight. It's embarrassing how bad the Warriors are at layups. It's insane. The most fundamental thing in basketball outside of dribbling is making layups. And the Warriors, for whatever reason, have forgotten how to do that. But Stephen Curry was the only bright spot, pretty much. I mean, Quentin Post had a good game. Again, I don't know why he didn't finish. I thought Guy Santos had a good game. Very costly turnover at the end there with his foot on the line. Immediately after inbounding the ball, he got the ball back, I think, from Draymond. He had not left his out-of-bound positioning fast enough. Gets the ball back with his foot still out of bounds. This was at the end of the game. It sucked. The Warriors just laid an egg. Multiple players played like absolute shit. And, and I mentioned GP2 early on. Yeah, GP2, Greg Gordon also deserves his flowers. And I mentioned that at the beginning of the show. Just forgot that right now. But yeah, GP2 was one of the only dudes that showed up. He didn't miss a layup, though. I did see that. But this was bad. This was very bad. Alan Day in the chat dropping $4.99 to have an opinion read out loud, and you will, sir. Saying Pajemski was one of the worst players I have ever seen tonight. He's been ass for several games straight. He was ass. Brandon Pajemski ate himself a big, fat, juicy ass burger tonight. It was an ass burger that smelled like doo-doo. Even had some pubes in there he had to pick out. Yeah, that was Brandon Pajemski. He was straight ass tonight. There's no way to spin that. No way to spin that. And again, Moses Moody. Oh, and real fast, let me give my Stephen Curry his flowers because he was the one bright side in this whole thing. Side note: this might be the last show where Underdog sponsoring us. Underdog is a Believe sponsor, and this program is part of the Believe network. And we really hope they stay. We haven't gotten an official word yet, so this might be the last time you hear me give flowers to a player as the Underdog player of the game. Let's hope they continue on because they are a phenomenal sponsor. Use the promo code GSW for a free pick and up to $1,000 in bonus cash with Underdog Fantasy. It is really fun. I do hope they stick around because I like talking about him. But Stephen Curry is your Underdog Fantasy player of the game tonight. 36 minutes, 27 seconds of play. He was 10 of 18 from the field. Again, 5 of 12 from deep. That's just shy of 50% shooting from deep. A perfect 4 of 4 from the free throw line. The 13 assists I mentioned a moment ago. He also added 5 rebounds. Also had a steal, 29 points, a plus 12 in net rating, which is important to mention because the Warriors as a team, when Stephen Curry was off the floor tonight, was a minus 19. Brutal. Could they have used Jonathan Kuminga? Yes. Where is he, by the way? Sam Gordon will not be joining us tonight. He's going to join us soon. Also, next week, I'm going to have Danny Emmerman of the Mercury News make his debut appearance on the show. I'm hoping by next Thursday, we see Jonathan Kuminga play for the Golden State Warriors. What's going on there? Tonight represented the 26th straight game that Jonathan Kuminga has missed with the Golden State Warriors for an ankle injury. Everything that has been reported to me, because believe me, when I tell you I have been inquisitive about this, like I thought Kuminga was going to be back in the Hornets game last Tuesday. Then a bunch of people were saying Thursday, the road trip opener at Orlando. And the reason why Jonathan Kuminga is not playing yet is because the Warriors' head of medicine, their healer, Dr. Rick Celebrini, will not greenlight him. I don't know the specific reasoning why. I don't know if Celebrini is concerned about the strength of the ankle. I don't know if he's concerned about Kuminga's conditioning overall, because you don't want Kuminga to go back out there, playing at 100% and then pulling something right off the bat because he's on a proper conditioning. I don't know what the reasoning is, but it's starting to become a little absurd. 26 games Kuminga's missed with an ankle. So that's not cool. June Adolfo saying that Kuminga's playing it safe for his next big contract. I'll tell you this, if he keeps missing games, a lack of durability is going to hurt his value. A lack of stepping up when the team needs you most, that's going to hurt your value. So this sucked. This absolutely sucked, because when we go over the standings in just a minute, you're going to see that the Warriors would have been the 6th seed after tonight's game if they'd won. Instead, you let Quentin Grimes look like one of the best players in the game's history. You squander another fantastic Stephen Curry performance. This isn't brutal. This isn't brutal. This is brutal. Tim Ford saying that this is not on JK. That's not fair. You're right, but at a certain point, Tim, a player's got to actually be on the court. I mean, it's one thing if you broke a bone, if you tore ligaments. I mean, an ankle sprain, 26 games? It's getting old. It's getting really old. My patience is starting to run really thin about that. This is coming from someone, by the way, yours truly, the guy with 2 thumbs pointed his direction. I've had 2 major reconstructive surgeries on both my ankles. I rolled those things left and right playing growing up. I know ankles, man. I've never heard of 26 games missed because of an ankle sprain. That guy dropping $5 in the chat, also a Golden Dazer, thank you, writing, quote, "We had a chance to get a microwave score like Bones Highland." I'm not regretting the Warriors missing on that, but I'll continue. And an aggressive 5 like Mo Bamba to really have a squad that can actually compete. Again, the Bones Highland thing, who did he end up with? Was it Detroit? Someone signed him recently. But Bones Highland is someone who he was drafted by the Nuggets. The Nuggets said, "No, we don't want any of this," and they won a title after they traded him. If my timeline is correct, Clippers wanted nothing to do with him. The talent is there, but the Warriors have always been a team that strived for chemistry as being a very important variable that they want to excel at in terms of roster construction. That's always been the MO of the Steve Kerr team. And I just don't know if Bones Highland is the right dude. But I hear you from a talent perspective. And on a game like this, where the Warriors were struggling to get points against the Philly team that came into this game with a 9-game losing streak, I hear you. I hear the frustration. I get it. Yeah, this just sucked, man. This absolutely sucked. A few people in the chat, maybe more than a few, we're talking about Moses Moody also being a disappointment. I didn't put him on my total shit list tonight just because he did score in double figures. He did have his moments defensively, but he shot 50% from three. He was 2 of 4 shooting from beyond the perimeter. Had 10 points in this game. The 2 rebounds were lacking. They could have used more there. The 0 assists, that's a stat that I do wish Moody would work on. Side note, one of my underdog picks tonight was the under on first quarter assists because they had it at 0.5 for Moses Moody, where you could bet higher than or lower than. And the lower than was a lock in my opinion, and that was one of the 5 of the 7 I nailed. Draymond Green not hitting a 3 screwed me. Anyways, look, if you weren't happy with the Moses Moody performance, I get it. I'm not sitting here pretending he had a great game. To me, 4 players immediately stick out who were far worse. But he could have done better. And when you look at the minute total for Moses Moody, he led the Warriors in minutes tonight. He played 38 minutes and 1 second. I'm guessing that's a personal record for Moses Moody. So when you factor that into it, 38 minutes of play and you have 10 points, again, I'm not going to argue with you. If you think Moses Moody should be on the shit list too, no argument here at all. Gamer F2P wants Kevon Looney on this shit list. He did not have a great game tonight. I didn't think it was an awful game. It wasn't great. He did have 10 points. Grabbed 4 boards, was 4 of 6 from the field. I don't know. I thought Looney was like middle of the pack. Anyways, I'm gonna put the link in the chat if anyone wants to come on the show and maybe present some perspective that I did not cover in these first 30 minutes. The link is now in there. Some notes that I want to cover real fast before we get to the audience, if anyone wants to come on tonight. The Warriors in the second quarter, and I want to pull up the second quarter box score to see what went down there. But the Warriors in the second quarter went nearly 6 minutes without scoring a single point. Like not a free throw even. 6 minutes. That's half of the second quarter that the Warriors went without putting up a single point. So who did score in that second quarter? Well, Moses Moody scored 3 points. He was also a minus 13 in that quarter. Quentin Post had 3 points. Brandon Pajemski had 3 points. Steph had 7 because Steph is Steph. He's awesome. He was like one of the only dudes doing anything tonight. GP2 had 2 points in 6 minutes, 43 seconds. Kevon Looney had 4 points. Guy Santos had 2 points. And the second quarter was where I think Kevin Knox might have just played himself out of the rotation because Kevin Knox in quarter 2 played 5 minutes, 17 seconds and had 1 point. That came from a free throw. He had 2 free throw attempts, missed one of them. So that's not good either. I'm just taking a look like Pajemski playing 8 minutes, 40 seconds in the second quarter and coming up with 3 points. Moses Moody playing 10 minutes, 46 seconds in the second quarter, coming up with 3 points. Again, GP2, you don't look at him for offense. He had a good overall game, but in the second quarter, he played 6 minutes, 43 seconds, had 2 points. Pat Spencer, all of his 3 minutes and 20 seconds came in that second quarter, 0 points. So quarter 2 was bad. It was very bad. Let's go to Derek Simmons Jr. I haven't seen you in a little while. Sorry if I caught you off guard there.
Oh, it's all good.
He's got his team or whatever. Steve from Vegas. Floor is full.
You got to have a sense of urgency. This was an organization fault today. This was a team fault today. You can't sit out your top 2 scorers on an away game, fighting for the 6th seed, on national television. We all know by now, the whole entire fan base should know, the organization should know that the Warriors get cheated on every single game that's on national television. Every single game. You left the game on to the ref's hands at the end of it. We all know what's going to happen at the end. I knew it. As soon as they said Jimmy Butler was not going to play tonight, and I looked, I said, well, is Jonathan Kuminga going to play? I was like, we lost. We lost. Because I knew that Steve Kerr was going to go small. I knew that Steve Kerr was going to take out Steph Curry at pivotal moments of the game. There was a moment where we were 3 points down. And here comes Steve Kerr. Time to take Steph Curry out. And Steph Curry was on a heater. What are you doing that for? And also I blame Steph. Because if that was Kobe would have told the other player to sit your ass down. I'm winning this game. So I also blame Steph too. This pissed me off. You can't have both Butler and Kuminga sitting on the bench. Have a sense of urgency. We could have been a 6th seed today, and then we could have been fighting for 5th. But you acting like we have all day long.
This gave a lot of vibes of November, December, did it not?
Look at the time. This is not the time to rest. This is the time to go. This is the time to go. The 76ers are not playing for nothing. They were only playing so that we won't make the playoffs. You got some nobody good scoring 50 points. What is going on?
This sucked. You're absolutely right.
What are you missing wide open layups?
Go back for a second. You said national TV. You said the Warriors are winless this season. Did you have the stat specifically?
No, I didn't say they're winless. I said the refs always cheat them out. They always find some way to cheat them out.
So I'm glad you brought that up because I included in my notes, Derek, there were 3 pivotal plays at the end of the game where the refs just totally screwed the Warriors. One was the unsuccessful challenge, right? This was Draymond Green leaping up to try and contest the Quentin Grimes 3. They called a foul on Draymond Green. Draymond immediately is like, hell no. He's doing the symbol of a challenge, and Steve Kerr, he's not going to dispute it at that point. So they challenge it. They lose their final timeout at that point. Mm-hmm. It was a very costly challenge. But when you look at the replay, Derek, I don't know what you thought. I didn't see a foul. Worst case scenario, just don't blow a whistle. Let that play on, because what I did see is Draymond Green leaping to try and get a block. The direction that he leapt was not toward Grimes. So he leapt for a block, wasn't there in time. Great. No harm. There was no contact. But Quentin Grimes jumped forward.
Right.
His feet, when he jumped in the air, he was behind the 3-point line. When he landed, his feet were 3 feet in front of the 3-point line. So a player cannot initiate contact like that. And Draymond was saying that. If you could read his lips, he was like, he initiated the contact, and he did. And they called the foul on Dre because he made contact with the knee, and it was after the shot. Dude, that was absurd. Okay, that was number one. There were three different plays there that really stuck out to me, and it was boom, 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 all back to back. So that was one. Number two was hold on. It was a bad out of bounds call. And this was after a missed free throw by Philly. I think Grimes missed his first and he missed his third free throws. He misses the third free throw. They call it out of bounds on the Warriors, and they give Philly possession. And Tim Legler even admitted that when they saw the replay, that should have been Warriors ball. The Warriors did not have a challenge because they wasted it on Draymond Green. The really excruciating part, which feeds into your argument that the refs screw the Warriors for these national games, if a second ref had disputed that call, they could have reviewed it without the Warriors challenging. Why not do that? Why not try and get it right instead of just saying play on, which is what they did. So they screwed the Warriors there. And then then right after that, there was one more, and then I'll give you the mic again. And then the third bullshit call was when it was not conclusive that Guy Santos knocked the ball out of bounds. They ruled it Warriors ball, and Philly challenges it. They go to the replay. They spend 10 minutes on this damn thing. It was not conclusive. And there was nothing there indicating that, oh, this was blatantly off Santos. Even Tim Legler said you did not see the ball change direction, which would have happened if Santos had touched the ball. Yet the refs overturned it. They you're right. Those three plays, giving Philly the ball back, that was just absurd, man. And that is not the first time I've seen the Warriors get screwed over in the challenge scenario. Like, you're looking at a replay and you still cannot see with your own goddamn eyes that was blatantly Warriors ball. Get the F out of here, dude. Like, bring the robots. I hate these refs. Continue on, Derek. I'm done. But I just wanted to point out those three plays.
And then going back to that Draymond Green play where he fouled, he did not touch him. The touch was when the shot was over with, and it was just a slight touch of the knee. Then
Correct.
The first quarter, they grab freaking Steph Curry on a three-point shot. He makes it. The ref don't call no call. He literally gets grabbed. He gets grabbed.
Yeah.
And they call nothing. Draymond Green, a little graze when the shot is over with. A little. See, they pick and they choose what they want to call. Yes. All because it's against us. These players, I watch these other teams play against each other. They be half-assing it. All of a sudden, they want to be playing like they're Super Saiyan Goku against us. All the time. Like, it's just frustrating. It's very frustrating.
Yeah. You're right. It's very frustrating. And again, Greg Gordon in the chat, I think you nailed it for the most part that the officials just don't like Draymond. But and that sucks, though, because you should not, even if you don't personally like him, you should not be officiating with bias, man. Like, you're supposed to be an impartial observer. You're supposed to be unbiased in your calls. And all I see is bias, brother. I'm with you. I'm totally with you, man.
I don't think it's Draymond Green. I think it's Steph Curry. I think it's the Steph Curry versus LeBron narrative. He just had a 56-point game. You're going to put him on national television. You can't put him in the position to the point where he plays now lights out against the 76ers, then he gets the 6th seed. Because then that puts LeBron James in a bad light. And so they have to fulfill this agenda. That's why they always say, Stephen A. Smith, he has to say, greatest shooter of all time. Side, you got so many stats that can prove that Steph Curry is the greatest offensive player of all time, not the greatest shooter of all time. But it'll make LeBron James mad. It'll make LeBron James feel good. Oh, yeah, LeBron James beat the Warriors because Draymond Green got suspended. Oh, and that was the moment that made me the greatest player of all time. Get the F out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I'm so pissed off. That's why I was grabbing my protein shake. I'm about to go to the gym late. I'm about to clang and bang because I'm heated right now. I'm just so heated.
I don't blame you, man. I'm with you. I'm with you, man. That was just a very frustrating game in every regard. And with 22 games to play, whatever that number is, and the Warriors blow a game like this, there's nothing that makes you feel good, man. There's a lot of people waiting I want to get to. Any final thoughts, Derek? It was great to see you despite the circumstances, but any final thoughts?
No, it was both our fault for not playing the players that was needed to be playing today, and then you left it in the ref's hand, and this is the result you get. You left it in the ref's hand, and you left it in Steve Kerr's hand.
Yeah, and June Adolfo, just piggybacking off your sentiments about the officiating in terms of Stephen Curry being a huge reason for that. And look, follow the money. That's the old adage that is taught in journalism, because usually that's where you'll find your answer. And when it comes to the NBA, man, and the fact that Stephen Curry is an Under Armour guy, not a Nike guy, I get it. And it sucks. There's no way to spin it. Well, hope you have a good time in the gym at least, man. Get all that frustration out, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Great to see you, Derek. Give people your YouTube channel before you go. I know you got a growing channel that's great for workout junkies. Promote away, please.
Absolutely. YouTube channel is Derek Simmons, IFBB Pro. Instagram is relentless_attitude.
Great to see you, brother. Great point.
To see you.
Astute, on the money. Love you, brother. Have a great night, Derek. I'm sorry this game sucked. I'm with you. Take it easy, man. I want a few other stats before we get to Caleb. We did see a Stephen Curry dunk tonight, and it really sucks that a Warriors win was wasted on a night where Stephen Curry actually slams the ball down for the first time since 2019. That was kind of cool. Wanted to throw in some positivity. Caleb, how's your night going?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, so, bro, this team is fraud. Dude, they're frauds, to be honest. I don't, there's no words to describe this loss, honestly. Like, without Jimmy Butler, and, we really needed JK. This game just shows me, how much we need JK, because if we had JK there, we wouldn't be having those scoring jobs and stuff. And we saw that one lineup, I forgot, I think it was at the end of the second, Pods, Looney, Kevin Knox, I believe. Who else? Gui Santos, and somebody, Buddy Hield. Oh, I don't know why that nigga has a contract. Why is he an NBA player? Let me not start with him, but the Sixers started playing a zone, and when you play a zone, you need to get that ball in the center, and they just couldn't score. It's disappointing, honestly. And
Yeah,
honestly, I don't know this team. I really I believed in this team. I thought we could win the championship and stuff, but now it's just I gotta see this team with JK and Jimmy Butler, but I don't know.
Well, look, I'm glad, Caleb. I'm glad you brought that topic up, because despite the frustration of this game, despite the morale of the fan base, the team itself, we'll play some sound in just a minute. I hope if it's come down the wire. With all that said, they were missing Jimmy Butler. This team is 7-1 when Butler plays, and the one loss was that bullshit Mavericks game that anyone and their mother with eyes on their heads could see that shit was rigged. So they're 7-1 with Butler in the lineup. They didn't have Jimmy Butler tonight. Jonathan Kuminga had finally earned the trust of Steve Kerr, had finally turned a corner in terms of production. And now he's been out for 2 months. 26 straight games he's missed because of that ankle. My entire point is, despite the frustration of tonight, despite the negative feelings that you have right now, and I don't blame you for that, they were missing 2 of their 3 best players, at least offensively. I know Draymond Green's in that discussion as well. I've not lost faith in the big picture at all, man. But this was very frustrating. And you're absolutely right. It begs the question, what the F were you thinking signing Buddy Hield? Brandon Pajemski. There were a couple things that were encouraging. I was encouraged, for example, Caleb, and let me know if you agree or disagree with me on this. I was encouraged that Steve Kerr did not leave Pajemski out there in the fourth quarter, because he showed me tonight that he's not going to just stick with his favorites no matter what. And that has always been a concern of mine. Not always is a strong word, but at least the last 2.5 years, that's been a massive concern of mine, that Steve Kerr will just play the guys that he loves and not necessarily who the best players are on his team. And we did not see that tonight. So that actually gave me some encouragement. And look, it's Philly. I can't believe the Warriors were the victims that snapped the 9-game losing streak on their part. Yeah. The Warriors' 5-game losing streak snapped. But big picture, man, for the season overall, I'm far from discouraged, dude. It just they were missing 2 of their 3 best players, at least offensively. It just sucks, though.
I mean, yeah, I agree with the part with Kerr. He was playing the good players, but why not play Quentin Post in the fourth quarter? That's just, I didn't understand that. Why are we playing Moses Moody? Moses Moody, he was just scared out there. Every time he was getting the ball, he missed that one open layup in clutch time too.
I know.
It's just Moses Moody. It just made me realize, can you trust Moses Moody in a playoff series? Can you trust Brandon Pajemski in a playoff series? Can you trust this man? Honestly, can you trust? I mean, Gui Santos had a great game. You can't trust Buddy Hield in any game. That's a given fact. So it's just I want to believe in this team, but I'm just saying, I don't know, we don't have that crazy you see OKC, they actually have their depth and stuff, they have that shit, but look at our roster, I know Curry's gonna come, I know Draymond Green's gonna play, I know Jimmy Butler's gonna play, I trust in Jonathan Kuminga too, but except them, it's just there's nobody else performing, bro. I don't know.
And again, the good news is the parity has struck the NBA so rapidly and at such a pace that it's affected everyone. You're right, OKC is deep as F, but I bring up the parity thing because when you look across the NBA, most teams are like the Warriors, and most elite teams, where 4 of the 5 starters and 4 of the 5 closers are pretty much established. When you look at the Warriors, for example, Steph, Draymond, Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, those 4 are your best players. Who's the 5th? And tonight, was an example of where if your argument for the Warriors not being serious contenders is they don't have that fifth guy, tonight bolsters that argument. But the good news is when Butler is back, when Kuminga is back, those guys also make everyone around them play better. So hopefully, like these awful performances by Moody, by Pajemski, Quentin Post had a great game. I don't know why he only played 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. He played 3 minutes, 23 seconds in the fourth. I don't know if Steve Kerr doesn't trust his conditioning, because Quentin Post had played 25 minutes up until that point, and maybe there's like a minute restriction there in terms of Post. I don't know. And I'm going to look at the sound in just a second to see if anyone brought that up with Kerr, but I do wish Quentin Post played more in that fourth quarter, because that did not make sense. But overall, like, again, tonight sucked, dude. Tonight was just an absolute Asperger that the Warriors laid down on a play. Hell, it was a double patty of Asperger, dude. It was disgusting. But I'm not looking at this game and thinking to myself, this is the Warriors. I'm looking at this game more so as this was an anomaly, a very frustrating anomaly where a lot of players showed up and didn't do jack shit. But they're missing two of their three best guys. So I'm not fully bummed out about it in that sense. It just sucks that they lost this game, dude. You should. And Caleb, before we get to Kai, who's next, what was your take on Quentin Grimes playing like that, dude? Quentin Grimes, again, he looked like a goddamn Hall of Famer out there. He was 18 of 24 from the field, 44 points for Quentin Grimes. What did you see there that allowed Grimes to, put these numbers up, man? What'd you see?
It's two things. I don't know why. Just these role players, when they play us, they just become like Michael Jordan. I don't know what it is, but they just start hooping. And part of it was Kerr's fault. He didn't change the adjustments on the defensively on Grimes. And he was just cooking us. Kerr just thought of him as a role player. Even when he was at 30, Kerr didn't do nothing. And then I think when he got like 40, Kerr put like Draymond and GB2 on him and stuff. So that did slow him down a little bit. But Kerr, I mean, I don't want to blame it completely on Kerr because the players didn't show up. So I don't know, but yeah, it's just
that's a fair criticism of Kerr in that we didn't see adjustments on Kerr's part. Like, and I don't know if it was because he was expecting Grimes to cool down. And look, I mean, players don't usually play like that where they're in the zone for 4 straight quarters, man. Usually you start seeing a cool off period, like the 76ers, for example, at the half. Right, the Warriors trailed by 12 at the half, and it could have even been worse, man. I mean, I was a little surprised that they weren't getting completely blown out at that point. But Philly at the half was shooting 68.8% from deep. They'd hit 11 of their 16 threes. That's absurd, and that's a pace that's not that teams don't keep up for an entire game, unless you're Philly tonight. Philadelphia tonight shot 57.6% from the three-point line. There were 19 of 33. Teams don't usually do that. So if you're going to be an optimist, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, is you could be an optimist and look at this game and think to yourself, look, the Warriors themselves shot 12 of 42 from the three-point line. That's only 28.6%. Philly shoots 57.6%. Teams don't usually come anywhere near 50% to begin with. If you're hitting over 40% of your threes, you're having a phenomenal night. They hit almost 60. So despite that, the Warriors lost by 7. So you could flip the script and be positive and go, you know what? Philly had one of those nights that teams every 5-10 years just randomly magically have. And the Warriors took all those punches and still almost won, man. So I'm not looking big picture at this game and thinking to myself, they're screwed. It was a shitty game, a lot of shitty performances. Quentin Grimes had an epic night. Dude, it wasn't just Grimes, by the way. Kelly Oubre Jr. Had 20%. It was absurd. You had Yabusele, the pudgy Frenchman. 5 of 7 from 3, including that dagger at the very end. So this was just a freakish night. It's unfortunate that we see a lot of these freakish performances happen against the Warriors because teams usually rise up when they see Steph. It could be worse is all I'm trying to say, man. And hopefully this was just a one-off. Congrats to Philly. Hell of a night. It was just one of those games. I'm talking myself into this. I actually don't think this was a big deal in the big picture. I think the Warriors will shake this off and be okay. Am I making you feel better at all saying all this, or is it just me?
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but we could have got the 6th seed. That's just what pissing me off. That's the main thing. If it wasn't, I mean, and they're trash too. Like they're 21-38. They don't have Joel Embiid, and Paul George just started just hooping out of nowhere in the fourth quarter. He had 0 points in the first half, and then I don't know.
It just sucks. Exactly. It just sucks. I feel confident about this. The Warriors are going to play. They're playing Charlotte Monday, I believe, right?
Yeah.
They're going to beat the shit out. They're going to beat the ever living piss out of the Hornets. Like I feel good about that. And Steph usually struggles in those home games. Like the Warriors actually have a lot of losses when they go to Charlotte. So they play the Hornets Monday. They play the Knicks Tuesday, Brooklyn Thursday. That's the remaining 3 games on this road trip. They're gonna turn it around. But Jimmy Butler will come back and play Monday. It was he was dealing with back spasms, and I think he started experiencing that in Orlando, which explains the lack of offensive production on his part in that game. He's going to be back. Let's hope Kuminga comes back. It should be any game now. This just sucked, but hopefully it's just one game, and we'll all forget about this in the near future. Caleb, it's Saturday night, man. Before I get to Kai, what are you doing to make yourself feel better on this Saturday night?
I'm gonna just watch The Boys show. I'm gonna watch a TV show called The Boys and just, I guess, get happy. I don't know.
You mean The Boys, like the one with where they inject that
yeah.
The V?
Yeah, the V, compound V, yeah.
I like it. I haven't seen the newest season yet, but I've watched the first 3 seasons, and that's on my list. I got to kind of have fun, dude. Light it up. Let's just put this game in the back burner. Let's pretend it never happened. This sucked. There's no way to spin it, man. This was a brutal game. Caleb, thanks for calling, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you, brother. Have a great night. Enjoy The Boys. OMG Manny dropping $1.99 saying it was a sucky loss, but not a big deal. Big picture, the Warriors are good. I agree. It was just a fluky, one of those games, man. It's just one of those games. Let the Jet Fly dropping $1.99 saying that, come on, man. Stephen Curry hurt his elbow, and that's why the Golden State Warriors lost this game tonight. Sure, let's roll with that. I like that. Kai, I'm going to come to you in 1 second. Let me see if there's any sound that has come down. Here is Steve Kerr. Ooh, I like this. This was Steve Kerr was asked if his bench would be enough if this team makes the NBA Finals. That's someone's jumping way ahead, but I like the question. I'm very curious to hear what Steve Kerr's answer is to that. So let's listen to it. Here's Steve Kerr. That's Alms from ESPN right there. And here's Kerr. Looks like he's standing in front of an elevator. I don't know what's going on here. I do know they're in Philly, and Kerr is asked about his bench. Turn the volume up, folks. The levels might be low. Here is Steve Kerr.
I'm asking the last 10 years same questions. I'm going to ask you again. Your bench players' performance in the finals. What do you think again?
We're going to ask that again? You keep doing this? Every time you
I still have feel you are going to the final.
All right. So what was the question? Bench players in the finals?
Their performance. Do you think it will be enough? This year's bench players' performance in the finals.
Yeah. We would like to make the playoffs. Playoffs? Talking about the finals? You just want to make the playoffs.
And also your former.
Let's not talk about the finals. Okay.
But also your former.
Steve Kerr going Jim Mora on us. Playoffs? Are you kidding me? Playoffs? I just want to win a game. Any game. I'm trying to do the Jim Mora impersonation. I don't know if I pulled that off or not, but that was let's hear that one more time, man. The reporter, I don't know who that was. This whole thing is amusing. We gotta listen to this one more time. This is Steve Kerr being asked about whether his bench is going to be enough for the finals, and Steve Kerr pulls Jim Mora going, finals? We just want to make the playoffs. And again, if you hear me with that voice, I'm trying to do Jim Mora. Sorry if I'm failing miserably at that impersonation. Here one more time is Steve Kerr asked about his bench.
I'm asking the last 10 years same questions. I'm going to ask you again. Your bench players' performance in the finals. What do you think again?
We're going to ask that again? You keep doing this? Every time you
I still have feel you are going to the final.
All right. So what was the question? Bench players in the finals?
Their performance. Do you think it will be enough? This year's bench players' performance in the finals.
Yeah. We would like to make the playoffs. Playoffs? Talking about the finals? You just want to make the playoffs.
And also your former.
Let's not talk about the finals. Okay.
But also your.
Tasha cut that one up as a YouTube short, and if you could use your creativity to apply some Jim Mora to that playoffs, are you kidding me? Let me see if we can do something with that right now. If YouTube has that Jim Mora cut, I need to hear that. This is where me being solo tonight is a detriment, because if I had any help, we would be rolling with this right now in terms of it being produced. Here was Jim Mora with his infamous playoff speech, and let's compare it to Steve Kerr. So this is Jim Mora, the former NFL coach. He's still around. I think there's just a commercial the other day piggybacking off this famous quote. Here's Jim Mora, former Colts coach, bringing up the playoffs. Are you kidding me? Playoffs?
I don't know. All I know is we threw 4 interceptions and fumbled once. 1 interception they returned for a touchdown. 3 others were in our end of the field where they scored point. That's all I know. That's inexcusable. Inexcusable. Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
And now here's Steve Kerr again.
Yeah. We would like to make the playoffs. Playoffs? Talking about the finals? You just want to make the playoffs.
The bench players perform.
All right, one more time. Jim Mora.
I don't know. Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
The finals.
Yeah. We would like to make the playoffs. Playoffs?
Playoffs.
Talking about the finals? You just want to make the playoffs.
And also.
All right. Okay. I just want to make the playoffs. Are you kidding me? Someone's going to have fun with that for sure. And Tasha, if that is you, hit it. Shams Charania. No, that is I think that's a spoof. Hold on. I'm seeing a report here regarding Kuminga. Let me see if this is true real fast. I don't see a report. Well, I got some Twitter accounts saying that the Warriors are considering delaying Kuminga's return until next weekend when they're back home. Multiple Twitter accounts are saying that. Shams Charania, I'm going to guess, said that maybe during an ESPN broadcast because he didn't tweet it. But yeah, I guess so. He's already missed 26 straight games. Warriors have 3 games remaining on the road trip, so we could be up to 29. Oof, that's brutal. Let's hear one more Steve Kerr soundbite. Actually, you know what? Let's go to Kai first, and then we'll go back to Kerr. Kai, you're on the program. Great to see you, friend. I'm guessing you're over in Florida.
Yes, sir.
Floor is yours.
Yeah, man. I'm pissed.
I know.
I'm pissed as. Listen, there's a thing called seizing a moment. You got to learn to seize the moment. Tonight's game, we win tonight's game, we're the 6th seed. Not only that, Houston, who is now the 5th seed, Houston lost tonight. Memphis, who I know is going to be faltering, Memphis lost tonight. So we would have gone to the 6th seed and at the same time drawing closer to Houston and Memphis, who are starting to lose. Don't think you're safe if you get to the 6th seed. What if Minnesota gets hot or Dallas gets AD and these guys back and gets hot and reel off 12 in a row? So you're at the 6th seed and by the final week you find yourself back into the play. You need to go for that 5th seed, that 4th seed if possible. And tonight was very important. You have a chance to grab the 6th seed if you beat a team that just lost 9 in a row. And you go in there and you play with your food. The Warriors played with their food tonight, just like Kuminga played with his food when he didn't accept that $35 million they were offering. And now he's out for 26 games and he will never see that $35 million again. Neither the Warriors nor nobody else, because nobody else got a chance to see him enough this year to offer him no $35 million. He should have taken that $35 million when it was offered to him last year. Just like the Warriors should have taken this opportunity tonight to beat the fucking Philadelphia Sixers, who have lost 9 games in a row. Now you go in there and you lose that game. You know what you're doing? You're bringing back a losing culture. Now, the people that's on my shit list, the main 2 people on my shit list is Brandon Pajemski and Moses Moody. I'm not going to sit here and blame Pat Spencer, who's a G League player who played 3 minutes. He's not the reason we lost that game. His 3 minutes, no matter how badly he played, shouldn't have mattered.
I bring him up, Kai, largely because he was given an opportunity to play meaningful minutes, right? We didn't see Pat Spencer in garbage time. We saw him in the second quarter, and he had a chance. Kevin Knox, too. They both had a chance to actually make a difference. Yeah. And this is where it's a make or break league, right? You get these moments.
Kevin Knox, I can see, but Pat Spencer, we're coming down to playoff time. Pat Spencer is never going to play in the playoffs. He's a two-way player.
Certainly not now. Certainly not.
Well, no matter what he did tonight, even if he scored 50 points, he's not going to play in the playoffs. He's a two-way player, and there's no room for us to sign him into anything else. So I'm saying, Moses, you are walking around now where we have won 11 games in a row when you start. When that gets broken, it should never be on your head. When that gets broken, it should be said, you know what? We finally lost a game when Moses Moody started, but what a fucking game he had. That's what we should be saying. So those are the 2 guys I'm blaming it on. Moses, I'm not blaming Buddy Hield, I'm blaming on Steve Kerr. It's Steve Kerr for putting Buddy Hield out there. Buddy Hield is never going to do any better than you see him doing it. And why wasn't Quinton Post in there for the last 5 minutes of the game? He was our second best player.
That's a great question. I'm going to actually ask some of my insiders myself just to see if this was a Steve Kerr gut decision. If maybe part of me wonders if there's a minute thing with Post where they don't trust them past say 25 minutes. Who knows? I'm with you
but you can trust Buddy Hield for 28 minutes when you feel like it.
Well, the reason why I say that is because a lot of rookies have those restrictions on them, especially given in college you're playing 30, 35 games, and the NBA suddenly you're in a 80-plus game schedule. So the adjustment is sometimes a little difficult for rookies. Yeah. And so you see these minute restrictions. With Buddy Hield, no.
I get it. But on a night when you've just shot 4 of 9, especially after the game you had 2 nights ago, and tonight you're 4 of 9 from 3. Well, tonight is the night when that restriction is going to get broken, because you are going to play those last 5 minutes, because we need to win this game. Losing is a habit, just like winning is a habit. Because we played around and lost this game tonight, I'm going to predict something. Within the next 2 or 3 games, before we leave off this road trip, we're going to lose another game that we shouldn't have lost, because we have crept into the habit. We just got into the habit of winning 5 in a row. If you're going to lose one, don't lose a game to the damn Sixers who can't beat anybody. And as far as Quentin Grimes, don't play around with these guys. These guys are NBA players. Every guy who is good enough to become one of the 450 players in the NBA, every guy has a night in him. Don't let that night fall on your head. Every last guy in the NBA has a night in him somewhere. That's why he made the NBA.
Ryan in the chat is saying Quinton Post was limping in this game and he got injured. I didn't see that. Did you, Kai?
I didn't see that. You know what? Steve Kerr couldn't be that crazy, man. I hope nothing is wrong with Quinton Post, but that would only make sense if something was wrong with him. Because even down to the very end, when we're down, you're down by 5 with less than a minute to go. So you certainly need a 3-pointer somewhere. This guy's been our second best 3-point shooter for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not sitting here for a second justifying the decision to not play Quinton Post in the fourth quarter. I'm just trying to understand it. That's all I'm doing here.
Cyrus, I am so pissed. Man, I am so fucking pissed, because I know that we should have grabbed that 6th seed, man.
You're right. Everything you're saying is right. No disagreements here.
This is not a game to play around with and this is the 76ers. They're playing at home. They still have a Paul George there who had a horrible game, but when it really mattered in the end, he was the one that was nailing those. And by the way, the Yabusele guy, the big French guy, the Yabusele guy, he's actually a shooter. He was shooting 39% from 3 for the season before tonight. So he's inching close to 40% from 3. He is a shooter. Somebody should have been on him.
Yeah, he hits over 70% of his threes tonight, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, for the
I
team,
hear
he's
what you're
39.
saying. It's side note with Evan Kelly, I still don't understand why the Warriors didn't pursue him this offseason. I thought he would have been a perfect player for this Warriors team, but
Of course, because he's a big guy who can shoot.
yeah, that pissed me off, and that he ended up in Philly. And Yabusele on the year, I just wanted to confirm what you said is true. 39.2% shooter from deep on the
And that's before tonight. So
yeah, that's before tonight. You're right. So, yeah, the defense was a letdown, big time, because all of those threes, like the Kelly Oubre threes early on, like every single one of those, they were wide open. They were not contested. And then very end of the game, Draymond Green tries to contest Quentin Grimes' three, and then you have the officials getting involved with the assists. So this was absolutely frustrating.
That's what happened when you leave the results to the officials. Yeah. When you leave this team should have been slapped away. This is a team that lost 9 in a row. You don't play around with them. Slap them away from the first half.
Nick the Greek in the chat saying that the Warriors did not have a backbone in this game tonight. You're right. And again, this is why the Jimmy Butler trade was that significant. It's crazy what a difference he makes.
But sorry, and I have to apologize to you because remember I was one who didn't want.
You already did that. You already did that. And look, Kai, you already let me and the audience know you have a brilliant son who who gave you some added perspective. No, Ben.
And now I'm seeing the effect of Jimmy that even when the man doesn't play well, like that last game, you could still see his fingerprints all over the results, even though he didn't play an individually good game. But
his IQ is absurd.
His IQ is right there in the game. We're gonna do well. I really think that this team will be in the conference finals. I really believe that this team will be in the conference finals.
I do too.
What they do from there, I don't know, but I believe they will be in the conference finals.
I still feel great about this team. I like March 17th, Warriors Nuggets St. Patty's Day. That's on my calendar, brother. That is circled because
we haven't beaten the Nuggets since we beat them 4-1 in the playoffs. We haven't won a single game against them since then. But that is not
hyperbole. That is a literal fact.
I think we played them twice for the rest of the year.
The Warriors have lost, I believe, 10 in a row to the Nuggets.
Yes. I promise you, these 2 games that we have against them for the rest of the year, watch Steph Curry go off on their ass and we beat them both times. Watch.
I will say this, Kai. If you told me earlier tonight that Tyrese Maxey was going to finish this game with 5 points on 2 of 14 shooting, I would have expected a very fun, happy, giddy night, man. Like that's shocking to me. And
think about that. No Joel Embiid. Paul George didn't have an influence on the game until the fourth quarter. Tyrese Maxey had 0 points at halftime, and we lose the game.
Paul George was doing nothing until that fourth quarter. You're absolutely right. And then he hit those big shots.
At halftime, Tyrese Maxey had 0 points.
And Andre Drummond even looked good, dude. And Drummond finished with 10 points, 14 boards. Drummond was an example of where you wish the Warriors had a Mo Bamba type to match something like that.
I've always loved Andre Drummond. To this very day, I would take Andre Drummond on my team.
Yeah, me too. I agree. Kai, great to see you, brother. Any final thoughts?
Peace and love. Just to cheer up the people. I know I am pissed, but let me be pissed. The rest of you guys be happy, all right? Everything will be all right. We'll be in the conference finals. All right. Peace and one love, all right?
Love you, Kai. Thank you, brother. Have a great night. Let's hear from Steve Kerr. This soundbite that I'm going to play right now. I just had it here. Now I got to find it again. But this Kerr. Oh, no, I have it right here. This is Kerr talking about Stephen Curry's minutes. You could tell Kerr was having some issues there in terms of trying to manage Steph and not playing him too much. Steph finished the night with 36 minutes, 27 seconds of play. And Steve Kerr was asked in front of this elevator or wherever the hell this setting is, what went into the management of Steph's minutes tonight. Here again is the head coach of the Warriors, Steve Kerr.
We went a while without him in the first half, and then the second half it felt like he really kind of shortened his rest. Is that just?
Man, we got 3 and 4 nights. I can't play him 40 minutes. I don't really want to play him much more than 34, 35, but I think he ended up around 36 tonight. So shortened his rest in the second. Obviously, we were a little desperate and hanging in there, and we had a shot, so we went for it. But he'll get his rest tomorrow and be ready to go in Charlotte.
Where do you feel like the defensive breakdowns were?
And that was Steve Kerr. I kind of wish the elevator opened and he just went in it and the reporters just followed him. You might as well go all out with that weird setting there. So again, yeah, and a good point by Kerr bringing up the fact that this was the third Warriors game in 4 nights. And we're going to cover the standings in just a minute because the Warriors are still the 7 seed, but this loss did not help in terms of them trying to break free of the logjam and them trying to fight for that 5 seed, the 4 seed. Like that they have the talent, excuse me, to compete with the top teams of the West, but they've also dug themselves in this massive hole. And again, tonight they resembled a team that we were watching throughout December and parts of November. Anyway, so that was Steve Kerr again talking about the minutes. The Warriors next play the Charlotte Hornets on Monday. Let's see. Ishan, welcome. How are you doing?
Yo, what's good, Cyrus? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming to us from the Dub C, correct?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing a bit better, but because the game's
I owe
over.
you some responses to text messages, correct? My bad on that. I apologize.
No, it's good. No, it's good. I only texted you the first time because I thought you forgot to come on the show. So I was like, you.
No, but you sent me a text today or yesterday that the Warriors are a sick. Oh, this is to the audience. And Sean, I don't even remember how you got my number, but congrats, man. I love your text. Sean texted me, quote, Minnesota loss and Clippers loss. This was yesterday. Warriors 6 seed with the win tomorrow. Oh, did not happen. Continue on. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Man, I knew this shit was over at halftime when Grimes hit that buzzer beater.
God damn it.
Was like, by the way, you were wondering what the spread was. It was Warriors -7 without Butler. And, coincidentally, the Sixers won by 7. Right?
God damn it. Yes, you're correct. Yeah.
And then they were favored by 5 points were the Sixers at halftime to win. I was like, the Warriors came back, last game when they were down like 15 or something like that. And I didn't think they were going to come back and win this game.
So you made the halftime bet too, and you lost twice?
I didn't make it.
Okay, well, I'm happy for you because a double loss would have stung that much more, right? So, okay.
No, I just saw at halftime today that the Sixers were favored by 5 points. So I was just thinking.
I see. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. I thought you meant that the halftime adjusted spread was 5, and then you made a second bet. Okay, continue on. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, so I didn't think that the Warriors were going to come. I mean, obviously they came back, as Vegas will. That's what Vegas does. And then they came back. Everyone thought they was going to win, but then, the refs came in.
What were your thoughts on that, by the way? I mean, that was it was 3 calls in a row that all went against the Warriors. In hindsight, Draymond Green, begging for the challenge, burned them because if Steve Kerr had not done that, they could have used the challenge the very next possession. Then that third play probably never even happens to begin with. So, but you can't fault Draymond either. Just the whole thing sucked.
To be honest, I actually thought that was a foul. I didn't think Grimes kicked out his leg because that's what Draymond was saying, that he kicked out his legs. But it looked to me that his legs didn't move forward. You were saying otherwise, but when watching it live, I didn't think he kicked his legs forward.
He didn't kick his legs. What he did do is he jumped forward. And when a player does that, when a player adjusts their landing spot where it's different from where they originally jump, that should, in theory, give the defender some leeway there as well, right? Like because the shooter cannot just jump wherever the hell they want to jump. The defender has to have some assist there in terms of some leeway, if you will. And Draymond, all he did was jump in a direction that was not towards Grimes, but Grimes also jumped. So there was incidental contact. What the refs should have done is just not call anything. They just should not have. They should have just let that damn play go. Calling a foul on Dre was absurd. Calling out of bounds on the Warriors was absurd. Not reviewing that one was absurd. And then when Philly challenged the third one and they overturned that, that was absurd. It was ridiculous, man. These refs are, it's atrocious what they're doing.
You don't think they make side bets as well? Like,
I do.
Yeah, I think it's obvious.
Dude, I mean, they already caught a guy. I know it's been 20 years, but do not forget that Tim Donaghy was making calls to Scott Foster, like 20 to 30 phone calls a day. And Scott Foster is still officiating in the NBA. Of course, man. If there's any corruption when it comes to like gambler influence, we're seeing players get busted for it because of the daily fantasy stuff, right? But 100%, dude. Yeah, a lot of these refs are totally. I think more times than not, it's more on the side of incompetency in terms of why we're seeing like these egregious missed calls or the bias. But if you told me that like 25% of NBA officials were gambling on these games, I would not be surprised. Like,
yeah, I mean, but they got the Santos out of bounds call, right? Obviously, it's against the Warriors. But that first ball was off of PG, and I can't believe they let it go. And when the Sixers challenged, I was like, there's no way that they're losing this challenge. I knew that the Sixers were going to win somehow, some way, just to screw over the Warriors, because I knew kind of at halftime that the Warriors were not going to win this game.
I agree also with what the F is Fashion, who in the chat tonight wrote that the Warriors were sleepwalking tonight. Agreed. They did not bring their A game. They were not the more energetic team. They didn't look like the team that wanted it more. Like Philly was out hustling the Warriors. Tim Legler called that out as well in the color commentary, and he was right, man. Like the Philly beat the Warriors tonight. They beat them, and that's inexcusable. The Warriors have a lot of role players who do not and should not ever have the luxury of taking nights off. And when I say that, I'm looking specifically at Brandon Pajemski. I'm looking at Moses Moody. I'm looking at Kevin Knox. I'm looking at Buddy Hield. There's a lot of dudes that your job is you're a role player. You should be bringing energy, effort, intensity every night, every second of your life. There is no good excuse for you to take a night off in terms of being the aggressor out there. That was absurd. That is inexcusable. And that's where Brandon Pajemski and Buddy Hield and Kevin Knox and Pat Spencer and Moses Moody, that's where they all need to be looking in the mirror like, why was I not the bigger hustler out there tonight? Yeah. You can control that. You can control how much energy you bring to the table. There are very few nights where Draymond Green does not bring the intensity or the energy. Does it happen when Stephen Curry's off? Yes. And I'll forgive him for that because until recently, the guys, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but until recently, he was giving it his all every single night. It's just now, if Stephen Curry's not playing, Draymond Green more times than not will kind of mail it in. But my point is, Draymond's a future Hall of Famer. Moody, Pajemski, Buddy, Kevin Knox, these guys are not future Hall of Famers. You don't have the luxury of taking plays off, of nights off. And what the F is Fashion, you're right. Philly brought more intensity tonight. That is the part that is most disappointing in the Warriors. My thought. What do you think,
It's
Sean?
not even like their main guys went off. It was fucking Grimes, bro. That's the only reason they won was because of Grimes.
Yeah, you're
Literally,
right.
almost went for a 50-piece, and you guys lose.
Yeah.
And, honestly, I don't expect much out of Kevin Knox because he just got back in the league. I mean, yeah, the potential is there, but he's always had potential and never showed up. So that's why you were saying earlier, there's a difference why he's not in the league. Oh, well, he is now, but he wasn't most of the time. So
10-day contract. I mean, 10 days, that's, it's that isn't exactly like a sign of trust.
Yeah.
He's on his second 10-day contract right now. That's Kevin Knox for you.
Pajemski is like I don't know. He looks like a Nico Mannion wannabe, bro. I don't know.
Well, hold on real fast. Reginald in the chat is saying, I'm wrong again. When was I wrong the first time? And secondly, just because Moody was diving all over the place doesn't automatically mean he was hustling more than what the Sixers players were doing. Sorry, I don't understand where the hell you're coming from with that, Reginald. And again, side note, the link's in the chat. If you ever want to disagree with me, instead of being a little keyboard warrior bitch, come on the show and let's communicate and express to me verbally with interpersonal communication what I was wrong about. Please. I digress. Continue on, Sean.
Yeah, they definitely showed heart tonight, but it was not there in the first half.
No.
And then, man, I know that Butler and Kuminga's missing, but if you're a championship team, you close these games out. That's simple. Like, I know I truly believe even if Jimmy Butler played and scored 0 points, the Warriors would have won this game. If he scored 0 points and played, he would have won this game. So they would have won this game. But again, that's my thing. If they're a championship team, they would have closed this game out. I'm not saying that they're not. It's just that, I don't know. Championship teams close this kind of stuff out.
I hear you. And again, you're right, but you should add to that as a caveat, championship teams when healthy, right? And again, the Warriors were missing Jimmy Butler. The Kuminga thing, I don't know what the hell is going on there. Again, I'm going to make some calls and texts after tonight's show because I want to get some answers there. I'm very curious to know why, not just why Kuminga it's taken this long for him to come back. I also am very curious why Quinn Post didn't play in that fourth quarter. So I am going to try to get answers because I'm very curious myself. But Sean, any final thoughts before the show gets a desperately needed injection of energy, of passion, of Chardol? Any final thoughts, Sean?
Yeah, I wanted to say that you were mentioning health, but health is always part of the NBA season. And if if Jimmy Butler's out, I don't think back spasm is going to keep him out long. But if any significant injury happens, then we're cooked. I mean, that's the main reason. Right now, the Warriors are, I believe, has the sixth best odds to win the ring. They're at a plus 1,200. And then
those are good odds.
Yeah, let me.
You can win some money.
I really want to go in, man, and go all in on the Warriors, but I gotta see a little more. They gotta consistently stay at the 6th seed for me to really think that they're gonna pull it off. And I just don't see how the Lakers are favored over the Warriors, man. I don't know, just because they got Luka. But
you got to remember when it comes to the odds, right? The odds are not based on realistic expectations. The odds aren't set on what the odds makers, what their subjective opinion is of these teams, right? They're not setting these odds based on what the Lakers have 1 through 14 versus what the Warriors have. It's based entirely on public sentiment. So the Lakers will always get better odds than they should because the Laker fan base is larger than any other team in the country and world. So the bookies know they're going to get more money automatically on the Lakers to begin with. And then now they have Luka Doncic. So all I'm trying to say is don't let those odds make you think a certain way about a team. It doesn't represent reality. It just represents what the bookies think of with the teams.
I actually think the Warriors have the best odds here because I don't think OKC or Cleveland's going to do anything. They're not the type of teams. I don't think SGA is going to end up getting a ring anytime soon. And Donovan Mitchell has consistently not shown up in the playoffs. And, I don't think the continuity with the Lakers is going to be there right now.
You might be right.
And also, Boston is obviously favored the most, but no championship team has gone back-to-back in the last 5 years.
It's been a while, not since the Warriors. You're absolutely right, man.
So I actually think that the Warriors have the best odds here. But shit, man, I need to see him get to the 6th first. Again, they should have closed it out. That's what
I know. And we'll touch on the standings in just a minute. And I think that's one of the most disappointing parts about this evening is the expectation a lot of people had of the Warriors leapfrogging LA and finally being in a position where they're not a play-in team, they're a playoff team, and that got delayed because of this loss. So this game was frustrating. It sucked. There is no way for me to pretend that this night was not good for the Warriors. This was, again, I think Asperger is the best way to sum up how the Warriors fan base and the team itself feels after a night like this. They ate a big, fat, juicy Asperger that was sitting in the pants of Shaquille O'Neal, and it's got a whiff of taint. It's just disgusting. And that was the Warriors for you tonight. By the way, Reginald, following up, look, Reginald, I want to make one thing very clear. If you're going to come in the chat and tell me I was wrong, especially when I wasn't, don't expect me to be just cool about that. All right. My credibility is my livelihood. So if you're going to tell me I'm wrong, back it up with actual legitimacy, with substance, with details. Quentin Grimes did not go straight up and down on that shot. Go look at the replay if you don't believe me. When he jumped up for that jump shot, his feet were behind the three-point line. When he landed, his feet were 3 feet in front of the three-point line. That is not going straight up and down. So I'm not mistaken on that. And then you're going to make me feel a little bad here because you followed that up with telling me you're a 7-year-old man. And now, yeah, I do feel a little bad. But Reginald, again, the guilt is not heavy because, again, you called me out when I was not wrong in that front. Go look at the damn replay if you don't believe me. And just because Moses Moody was diving for balls does not automatically mean that the Warriors role players were out hustling the Philly role players who also were diving for balls, who also were grabbing rebounds. Philly tonight out-rebounded the Golden State Warriors. No, I apologize. The Warriors out-rebounded the Philadelphia 76ers 49-40, yet they still lost by 7 points in the paint in this game. I'm just reading these stats. The Warriors won the points in the paint battle 68-44. It just basically came down to all those to Quentin Grimes threes. Those were like the and Yazoo Belly's threes. Yazoo Belly 5 of 7, Grimes 6 of 9, Kelly Oubre Jr. 3 of 6, Paul George 3 of 6. I guess when you're making 57.6% of your 3-point attempts, there aren't going to be a lot of opportunities there for inside points. But but regardless, look, it's a subjective thing to say one team wanted him more than the other. I did not think the Warriors out-hustled Philly. I didn't think they played like a team that was hungrier. We can agree to disagree there. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're wrong if you say otherwise, because neither of us can be right or wrong in a situation like that. Don't tell me I'm wrong, though, about the Quentin Grimes shot. The replay is obvious. He jumped up behind the three-point line. He landed 3 feet in front of the three-point line. You also see a lot of other people coming on this show simply by clicking on a link. It's not complicated. So, Reginald, no, I'm not going to apologize to you. If this is what costs me a listener or viewer, so be it. I apologize. But Reginald, don't pretend that you can call out hosts and tell them they're wrong, and especially when they're not, and then expect them to just take that and be cool about it. No, that's not how this works. Sorry, Sean, I didn't mean to distract from your time here. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, you were mentioning that earlier that Philly has nothing to play for. Yeah, I get that part of it, but they're only 2.5 games out of the 10 spot. I know they're really not going to do shit, but the team should really get together and try to make a final run. Who knows, man? I actually think that they should try to do something. But yeah, because.
Anyways, Sean, what are you doing tonight, man? You're in the Dub C. What's your Saturday night plans?
Just chilling at home, man.
Chilling. That's my coming tonight, brother. Well, I hope you join me Monday, because I will predict right now that the Warriors are going to beat the shit out of the Hornets. Oh. I don't think they're going to let this game just slide, man. The way they fit, and this is why I love this team. This is why I love Steph. One of many reasons. They care about this shit. Unlike a lot of teams where you might have a fan base that kind of, that is super frustrated or super depressed about a loss like this, but then you see the players just kind of moving on, and the players are detached from the emotional connection of the team and the wins and losses. That's not the case with the Warriors. They care. They want to win, dude. Winning matters to them. So they're not taking a loss like this lightly. They're going to come back Monday. I feel great about it. Sean, I don't think the line is going to be available now for Warriors Hornets Monday, but just out of curiosity, is there a line? Do you see one available this soon?
No, let me check.
I'm checking too. And the reason why I say that is because if the line is not like Golden State minus 14, bet on the Warriors. Bet on the Warriors and enjoy winning some money. If the spread is like 5 or less, take that line and win and cash that money. I feel phenomenally good about that. That's all I'll say there. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I actually think that LaMelo's back, so it's going to be more around 9. And they're on the road, so I think LaMelo just came back today, so I think I'm not going to say it's going to be a close game, but especially when the Warriors pissed on him last time, I think that somehow Hornets can. You never know how this shit goes. I think somehow Hornets could cover, but the Warriors are going to win. But I think that they're going to lose to New York, and then they're going to beat Brooklyn. So I think
All
they're
right,
going
brother.
to go 2-1 in the next 3 games.
Well, have yourself a beautiful Saturday night. That is the good news
man.
here. It is Saturday. We don't have to work tomorrow if you work a normal schedule. Sean, I want to see you Monday, and I want to hear from you in a celebratory mood after you want some money bet on the Warriors. Again, if it's like minus 15, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if it's going to be like that level of a blowout, but I do think the Warriors are going to take care of business in Charlotte. And they're going to be using this as motivation. I feel very good about that. I also think Jimmy Butler is going to come back.
I never touch spreads that high, man. That's just way too high.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, brother. Let's get some Chardol. Sean, have a great night, man. Thanks for calling in or clicking on whatever nomenclature we're using in the modern era for listeners and viewers coming on a show. It used to be. We used to call folks who would jump on a show a caller. I don't know what we call the YouTube version of that, but Chardol, you are on the program. Your energy is needed. Your passion, you're contagious. Your what you love about the Warriors so much, and that energy that goes behind it. Bring it on the show, brother. Floor is yours.
Hey, Sai, I'm a big fan of your content on YouTube. I love all your content and videos. I love everything you do on the channel. I'm pissed off about this loss. I'm furious. I'm enraged. We should have won this game.
I'm listening. If you can hear me, I'm having some issues on my side, but I can hear you. Keep going.
We should have won this game. Like this was not okay. Like we should have won this basketball game against the Sixers.
Agreed.
And it didn't go our way tonight. And that's not always.
Keep talking. I'm trying to fix my shit here. So
I'm pissed off. So I'm just like, it was there were many factors. But Grimes was the main reason why we lost. Like Quentin Grimes dropped 43. He almost dropped a 50 burger on us. And that's the reason why we lost. I mean, like he was the main reason why we lost. I mean, like if we contained him and we didn't let him go hot, we would probably have won this game. But with him going off and scoring like over 40 or more points, we lost. I mean, like we just couldn't contain Grimes.
And by the way, I apologize to everyone. Can you hear me, Chardol?
I could hear you.
Okay, good. My camera just crapped out. Can you see me?
I could see you.
Oh, you can't see me.
No, I can see it. No, I can't see you, but I can see your C logo on your thing. So
Yeah, I apologize to everyone. My camera just stopped working. I don't know which probably is a good sign to.
So I hear your voice still.
That's good. It better.
Hey, Sai. Where's Sai? Sai automatically dropped off. Hey, Sai, where are you? Hello? Sai, are you still here? You just dropped off for some reason. You're having technical difficulties, it looks like on your end. Hey, Sai, where are you? Hey, Sai, are you here? Hey, Sai, where are you? You just dropped off for some reason?
Sure. Were you carrying the load there?
Were you having technical difficulties?
I did for a moment there, but it looks like I'm back.
I held up the fort while you were gone.
I was preparing for just the rest of the night for you to take over. Oh, that's all. Continue on, Chardol. I apologize.
So I was saying that Quentin Grimes was the main reason why we lost. Because he put up 40 or more points. Like, are you fucking kidding me, Quentin Grimes? You asshole, Quentin Grimes. I hate that guy. He looked like Steph Curry out there tonight for the other team.
I know Quentin Grimes, man. Who was he playing? Was he playing for Dallas before this? Like, where did he come from?
I don't remember.
Jesus Christ. Was it
I
Toronto?
don't remember. I'm so bad at remembering information.
Chardol, how did it feel there for a few moments hosting Golden Days? You had a Kevin Knox moment.
I had a good time for that moment.
Okay, good. I don't know what happened there. My computer told me it was the browser that I use. What's the Google one? That's the one I use. Whatever that one's called. It's not Firefox.
So what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on the loss? Like, how can they bounce back?
Sorry, Chardol, you make me laugh, brother.
Did Reginald sabotage your camera?
I'm sorry?
Did Reginald sabotage your camera?
No, but Will V93 wrote that in the chat, and I thought it was hilarious. 7-year-old Reginald who cannot figure out how to log in sabotaged my camera. I underestimated Reginald tremendously. Reginald, you got me. Congratulations.
I get free ticket. I work at Great America over by right next to Levi's. I get free tickets. Would you want some?
I'm good, brother. I stopped.
You don't want any? You don't want? They're free. They're free. I work hard to get them.
Do you really?
I work hard to get those tickets.
What do you do? What do you do for a job there?
I'm a games associate at Great America.
What does that mean? What's a games associate?
And all the games, all the basketball games and all the football games. I teach them how to play.
Okay, that's kind of cool. What do you think about the great Rich Mitchin in the chat dropping $1.99 to write trade Kuminga ASAP if you're serious about a chip? Before you answer that, Chardol, I got to let great Rich Mitchin know that the trade deadline passed. So the Warriors can't trade Kuminga now. If you're talking about the offseason where it's a sign and trade, let's talk about it then. All right. But the great Rich Mitchin, you did get your point across. And I hear you, man. Kuminga missing 26 games in a row. If what Shams Charania is saying is true, that we might not see Kuminga again until after this road trip, which would be at least 3 more games. That means he's going to miss 29 straight games because of an ankle injury. That seems a little. Use the word sus, Chardol. Would you call this sus?
I would call this sus.
Big time sus, right?
I mean, trade Kuminga. Like
no. I mean,
no.
I mean, missing nearly 30 games because of an ankle injury. Not even a break.
I mean, Kuminga, like, we need Kuminga as badly, and we need him to return as soon as possible. Because without him, we're not gonna win any more games.
Agreed. Well, I mean, I don't think they're going to win some games, but I think
he's the glue. I think he's the glue to this franchise.
And I think without him, you're not a title contender. I think you're a playoff team without him. You're a title contender with him. That's my.
I mean, today in the loss against the Sixers, 129 to 116. It was definitely a tough loss. I mean, like, it was. I mean, we did. I mean, the 76ers did get the win, the 121 to 116 win over the Warriors. I mean, it was. I mean, the Sixers are one of the worst teams. I mean, they snapped their 9-game winning streak.
Losing streak. Philadelphia came into this game with a 9-game losing streak, and
so as a Warriors fan, I despise the Sixers. I don't like the Sixers. I don't like Joel Embiid. I'm happy that Joel Embiid is out for the rest of the season. I'd never want to see that guy on the court. I don't like his demeanor. He's just not my favorite player. I don't like him, and I'm really, really happy that they don't that their losing streak is it's snapped.
Chardol, what do you think about MJ in the chat who writes that because you work at Great America, could I come over there and together we enact fraud on the park where we rig all the games, like the ones with the tickets?
No, you can't do that. You get in trouble if you do that.
Okay, well, yeah, but is the money worth it? Like, can we rip off the park for enough money where the job doesn't matter?
I mean, like, you can't do that because, like, I don't know if they'll let you do that.
Okay. Well, of course they're not going to let you do that. We'd have to get away with it. But my question to you is it worth the attempt? Is it worth the effort? Like, well, let's say we played all the games, right? Like, don't they have a lot of games there at Great America, like where you're trying to knock like a stack of bottles over, and you're trying to make a basketball into a hoop? Do they have those kinds of games still?
They
Like
have
those
yeah, they have those games there.
So what if like we rigged it and you helped me out, and all of a sudden like I have like $10,000 worth of tickets? Is that worth it or no?
I can't help. I can't help you do that.
You can't. Okay. All right.
No, I don't want to be your. I don't want to.
I don't know how committed you are to all this, because if you can't commit fraud for your brothers, what can you do for your friends?
I mean, like, I just like working where I work, and we're right next to Levi's, so that's really good. We're right next to the 49ers stadium, so like it's like a walk. It's like we're right next to it, so we can literally walk over to the Niners stadium and watch a game. So that's how close we are. But tough loss for the Warriors tonight. They fall to the Philadelphia 76ers 121-116. Man, it was a tough loss. As we went down 126-119. It was just a horrible loss. I mean, like it was, we should have won this game fair and square.
Real quick, Chardal, before we go, and you're on fire tonight. Thank you so much for playing along with me, for indulging me. The 49ers, you came on this show and said that, and I asked you, if I put a gun to your head, which team do you like more, the Niners or the Warriors? And you said the Niners, and that's fair. I get that. What were your thoughts on the Debo trade today?
Debo Samuel's one of my favorite football players on the Niners, and when I heard about the news that he got traded to the Commanders, I mean, I knew that, they made that move just because Debo wanted to go to a team where he felt that he can compete for a championship and compete alongside Jaden Daniels, who's hands down one of the best, best quarterbacks in all of the NFL. He's an amazing young quarterback, and Debo Samuel's gonna have a great time for Jaden Daniels to pass balls to Samuel and make him his key target for the NFL, for the upcoming NFL season.
Before you go, is it true that Great America is going to close?
Yeah, they're going to close because we got bought out by another company.
When are you closing? When is the date for Great America?
It's to be determined, but we don't know when we're going to be closing.
Well, when you find out what that date is, can we plan some sort of heist then?
I'll let you know what the date is.
So there we go. Now we're talking, right?
So Sai, before I leave the show for the before I leave the show for the night, what are some tips you give to the Warriors if they want to bounce back from this 126-119 loss against the Philadelphia 76ers from the Wells Fargo Center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? What tips would you recommend to the team if they want to get a win against the Hornets, which is going to be Steph Curry's homecoming with his family is going to be in attendance at the game. His mom is going to be there. His dad is going to be there. Riley's going to be there. Cannon Curry's going to be there. Ryan Curry's going to be there. The whole family is going to be there in attendance. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be absolutely beautiful to see a whole family in attendance, seeing Steph Curry playing in his hometown of Charlotte.
My recommendation is drink more Red Bull. And there's this great breakfast. It's called Little Chocolate Donuts. So I think the Warriors need to increase the consumption of Little Chocolate Donuts, increase the consumption of Red Bull, smoke some more cigarettes, and get that grit. They're missing the grit that I think comes with putting toxins in your body. What do you think, Chardal?
Yeah, I think it's not a good thing to put toxins in your body.
It's not. I'm messing around. Chardal, I think the Warriors are going to be fine. I think this was...
Sai, you know what the best part about coming on live? The best part is when you make a mistake. You know what the best part is? To catch yourself in the act and correct it while you're on air, so it makes you feel better.
I know it makes you feel better.
That you recognize the mistake and you caught yourself live on air and you corrected it.
So Chardal, before you go, I'm going to let you know real fast. You said Pittsburgh when I think you meant Philadelphia, and I just don't want you to be emailing me later, wondering if that's gonna.
No, so I know other people when I go on live streams. Other people also know what I mean. They understand that it's a typo, and they say like, we know what you meant. So you know what I meant.
They know that here too, Chardol. I promise.
That I know what I meant.
They know that here too. I promise you that. Like every time you worry about something you say, don't worry about it. I promise you, people understand what you mean.
So what are your your thoughts to give the Golden State Warriors if they want to bounce back from this 126 to 119 loss against the Philadelphia 76ers from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? What would you tell them to boost their morale and kind of put them back on the winning track?
Get hammered drunk and just forget about what happened and start fresh.
Viewers, make sure to click the like button, smash the subscribe button, ring that notification bell for Golden Days in reference to the Matthew McConaughey movie Dazed and Confused.
Yes.
He makes some great content surrounding the Golden State Warriors. So if you're a fan of this gentleman and you're a fan of the Golden State Warriors, click that like and subscribe button and show some love to Sai, because if he could get all the love and support that he can get, he would really appreciate it.
I would.
And
I appreciate
the way to find me on social medias. My YouTube channel is SGA Sports Talk channel. I'm on the road to 400 subs. I'm trying to get monetized and get super chats and all that.
Yeah.
Interesting and fun stuff. I'm trying to get there. So if your viewers could
graduate from working at Great America and you want to make some real money, right?
If your viewers could help me get there, then I would really appreciate them making me get to that milestone.
You're getting there, Chardol. And on that note, by the way, we're almost at 4,000 on this show, and I can't thank the audience enough for that. Chardol, you're going to get to 400, I promise. SG Sports Talk is the name of the program. I love you, man. You're always phenomenal. All kidding aside, Chardol, I don't think the Warriors need to be drinking alcohol or putting toxins in their body. They just need to forget about this game and move on. I'm insanely confident that Monday night the Warriors are gonna kill the Charlotte Hornets. That it's gonna be a blowout, my friend. Would you agree with that or no?
I would agree that we have to blow the Hornets out of the water. We have to defeat them. And if the Warriors lose against the Charlotte Hornets, it's gonna be the biggest upsetting thing to witness as a Warriors fan, because Steph Curry does not want to lose against the Hornets in front of his family. He does not want to.
Agreed.
Who would want to lose a game in front of your family coming in to watch you at the arena? Who would want that?
Not me.
Not Steph Curry.
Exactly.
What were your thoughts on Stephen Curry after he scored 56 points against the Orlando Magic in Orlando? What were your thoughts on Steph Curry throwing his jersey to his mother?
I thought that was awesome. I think Stephen Curry never ceases to amaze me. He is the epitome of greatness. He personifies that word. All I can say about Steph, Chardol, is we as human beings are lucky to be alive at the same time, if you're a basketball fan, because we're never going to get another Steph. He's a Jordan level, once a generation type superstar. I love the man. And even like little things like that, where he threw the jersey at his mom and his mom takes a sniff at it and makes the face like, what the hell is this smelly thing he just threw at me? And Steph knew what he was doing, man. He knew that mom would take that dirty shirt and have some sort of reaction to it. She's not going to wash that. She's going to probably give that jersey to someone else or give it to charity or something like that. And it was a heartwarming moment.
When you look at Stephen Curry, he has an amazing physique, and I am trying to match that type of physique of Steph Curry. He looks so fit. I'm trying to work out and do everything I can, work with a trainer and do everything I can, and I still can't match how great Steph Curry looks. Like, he's in the gym every single day, working out in the gym. He's getting his shots up in the game. You know, he's spending hours and hours and hours in the gym every single day and getting his shot form right and getting all his fitness regimen correct and everything. But I think after this game, I think like how the Warriors lost this game, they all the players on the Warriors should just leave the team and go and get a job in the circus.
All right, Chardol, I got to run because I still have one more person waiting, and I didn't realize how
Hey,
late it
Sai,
is. We're hitting the
it's great
2 hour
coming on the
mark.
show,
All right.
and I'll see you next time.
Love you, Chardol. Thank you
See you
so
later.
much. Aim, I didn't realize how late we are in the show. You're our final audience member who's going to come on. Floor is yours, brother. How you doing?
Oh man, bro, y'all gotta talk no juice too, bro. No cap. Like bro, that's crazy. But
Chardol?
Yeah. Y'all, bro. But
he's one of a kind.
First
We
of
love
all-
him. We love him here. Yeah, go ahead.
First
Sorry.
of all, for all the people saying play Kevin Knox, I hope this humbled you. Mr. Fortnite does not need to play in 2025. He just needs to sit on the bench.
Why is that his
Next,
nickname? I've heard that before. Why do people call him that? Because I have no clue.
he wore a Fortnite suit to the draft.
Did he really?
Yo, it was like
Is he a
2017 or
gamer?
something.
Like, what's the reason for that, man? Like, did he wore a Fortnite suit?
Yep. It was cringe.
All right.
I don't know why you do that. That was cringe. But Buddy Hield in 2025 is crazy. After the first semester is crazy, bro. He's terrible. He's horrible, bro.
He's garbage.
And I'm gonna be real. Y'all complain about playing pods, but it's either him or Buddy Hield. So it's like at that point, I don't know, bro.
Well, that was
It's
part of
really
the thing.
bad.
Game. That was part of the reason why with tonight's game, I was not looking at Steve Kerr in terms of a finger to point at for blame because he tried, man. He threw everyone out there. There was no player. I mean, the only player who didn't play was Trace Jackson Davis, and maybe he should have. I mean, Trace has missed, I think, 5 of the last 6 games for DNPs. He had an illness. He's basically phased out of the rotation. And I don't know how people feel about that. I have really no feeling on it, honestly, because defensively, I think he does contribute something. He's a big on this team. So I think you're improving defensively with him in the lineup, but offensively, I mean, he's one of many missing layups, missing the easiest buckets imaginable. I don't know, man. The Trace Jackson Davis part of this, I don't know. I don't have an opinion. I don't, because on one hand, if you feel like he should be playing, I get it. On the other hand, Steve Kerr's not playing him. He's phased out of the rotation. I get it. But everyone else played tonight, man. Players were just not showing up. You're right. They were just, the talent wasn't there tonight, plain and simple.
Nah, respectfully, TJD doesn't need to play. He can't make the layup. And I know everybody else can't, but he's a big though, so it's no excuse. And Quinn, I think QP didn't play because he got hurt a little bit and he was like tired.
Someone else said that.
Yeah, he got hit in the leg and something, so I don't think he could really keep playing after that and everything. So I think that's why he didn't play in the fourth quarter.
It would make sense if that's what happened. And I don't see anything that's come down in the news wire indicating that. Like I said, I'm gonna look into it myself. And if you follow me on social media, whether it's Twitter at Surf Journalist, Threads at Dog Wild. I'm sorry for the folks on Blue Sky. I'll try to get there at some point. But my point is, if I get the answer in terms of why Quinn Post missed the fourth quarter tonight, he only played 2 minutes and change. I will post it there, if not Monday's show or sooner. But I agree. He should have played, and there's no good reason for that outside of maybe an injury or I don't know. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think it was a coaching thing today. I think players missing open layups, missing wide open threes, just not bringing energy. That's really it. It was the players' fault. And by the way, people won't like this, but Curry was the primary assignment on Grimes, and Grimes was cooking him respectfully. But I mean, it was just a team loss. I don't think this is really a coaching staff thing. Honestly,
I agree.
It's the team.
I agree. You want to hear from Stephen Curry real fast talking about his dunk?
Yep.
his first dunk in 6 years. Let's hear from Steph. Again, this is in apparently the Philadelphia 76ers. Their visiting team media interview area is in front of the elevator. So, and that's the great Raymond Ritter there in the bottom left corner. Here is Stephen Curry talking about his first dunk in 6 years, and maybe he said more. Let's. This is courtesy of Anthony Slater. Here is Stephen Curry.
You know when's the last time you dunked in a game?
Of course I do. 6 years ago at home. Right wing, the right corner, no back cut. I think it was a pass from KD.
6 years pass in Chase or Oracle?
I was at Oracle. I never dunked at Chase. How about that?
Why'd you decide to dunk tonight? I mean, typically you'd lay that in.
I've been feeling pretty good. I've been dealing with some knee stuff all year, and you want to take advantage of a cherry pick opportunity. That would probably be my last dunk, though.
Of your career or of the year?
I'm calling it right now. That was
career.
the last one you're going to see.
Who'd you point at on the bench?
Ironically, this morning at shoot-around, Stackhouse said he wanted to see a dunk. He had said that all year, and I haven't heard that in years, and it happened tonight. It's kind of funny.
I thought you were pointing at Stackhouse. It seemed random.
Yeah, it was a very random comment this morning, and the fact that it happened is hilarious.
But you're saying this is going to be the last one?
For sure. I will only lay the ball up. Took everything out of me to get up there.
Steph, obviously it's
All right, that's Stephen Curry there talking about the dunk. Aim assist, what'd you think hearing him say that's the last time we're going to see Stephen Curry dunk a basketball in an NBA game? And Jerry Stackhouse just earlier today saying he'd like to see it. Interesting timing. Aim, what'd you think?
No, I don't think it's going to be the last time. I think he'll pull one in the playoffs or something.
I would bet money that he will not do that. I could not see Stephen Curry doing a dunk in the postseason just because I think Steph himself is a very self-aware individual, and I think he knows how awful of a look it would be if he tried to do a dunk in the postseason and let's say he got hurt, right? Like that would be terrible, dude. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't think we can.
I think he could do a 360 windmill or something, like just a lit song, a lit stylish dunk.
What do you think about Tanisha Johnson in the chat saying that the Warriors should have put GP2 on Quentin Grimes? That's where I do feel if you criticize Steve Kerr for a lack of defensive adjustment in this game, I hear you because we didn't see anything to try to slow Quentin Grimes down at all this whole game. You brought up the fact that you saw Stephen Curry guarding him most of the night. Where was the adjustment, if that's true? But regardless, I hear you, Tanisha. Good call on that.
I think that's true, but it's kind of difficult because then you got Maxey, you got GP2 on Maxey or Paul George, and then you got PP. So I don't know, but yeah, I think it was just a team effort thing. That's my final thoughts on that. Not really coaching.
And Carl Munoz in the chat saying that he loved seeing Stephen Curry smiling after a loss. I agree. I think this team is going to move on. They're not going to let this one linger. Jimmy Butler will come back. If you've never seen a Warriors revenge game, get ready for Monday. They're going to beat the shit out of this Hornets team. I don't know what the spread is, but whatever it is, outside of like 10 plus, put your money down. I'm feeling great about that. Aim, where are you? I always forget where you are. I apologize. Where are you in the world, and what are your plans for Saturday night as we start to wrap it up and go through the scoreboard and the standings?
Oh, I'm in Michigan Saturday. I'm just about to go to sleep, not gonna lie. This game pissed me off. Man, I missed the Elimination Chamber, bro. I could have watched WWE, but I had to watch this trash-ass game, bro. I could have skipped out on that shit. No cap. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Where in Michigan are you? Oh, he's out. Okay. There we go. Well, that's Ames assist. Let's go. Let's see what's going on in the NBA. The rest of the scoreboard as we wrap up a Saturday night post-game show following the Warriors losing to Philly. That was brutal. What can you do? What can you do? Except play some music. and see what else happened in the NBA. Six games on the Saturday, March 1st docket. The Milwaukee Bucks defeating the Dallas Mavericks tonight, a final score of 132-117. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 29 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists in the win for Milwaukee. The Bucks improved to 34-25. Dallas drops to 32-29. Kyrie Irving, 31 points in the loss. San Antonio Spurs defeating the Memphis Grizzlies tonight, 130-128 final there. Steven Castle, your likely rookie of the year this season, 24 points, 7 assists in the win. Jaren Jackson Jr. dropping 42 points for Memphis in the loss. The Sacramento Kings came away victorious tonight, 113-103 winners over the Houston Rockets. Sac improving to 31-28. Houston dropping to 37-23. Jonas Valanciunas, 15 points, 14 rebounds, 4 steals in the win for Sacramento. Alperen Şengün, 30 points, 10 rebounds in the loss for the Rockets. 2 more games. The Detroit Pistons. Is this their 9th win in a row? Well, let me look that up real fast because I believe it is. Confirm that. I thought they were on a winning streak. They must have lost recently. Hold on one second here. Oh, they did. They lost to Denver. Okay, so the win streak was snapped. So this was their 9th win in their last 10 games. Still damn impressive. So Detroit improves to 34-27. The Brooklyn Nets drop to 21-39. Jalen Duren, 18 points, 11 boards, 6 blocks in the win for Detroit. Whoever T. Martin is for the Nets, that team is full of randos. I don't know. I have no clue about. I want to see real quick who T. Martin is. There's probably somebody I recognize. Hold on here. So T. Martin stands for Tyrese Martin, 25 years old, former second-round pick of the Warriors. Is that right? Do any of you remember the Warriors drafting Tyrese Martin in 2022? That must have been traded, and it's like technically was a Warriors draft pick. But apparently in 2022, with the 51st selection, according to ESPN, the Warriors drafted Tyrese Martin, a 6'6", 215 guard who plays for the Brooklyn Nets. Anyways, he was the top performer tonight for Brooklyn in the loss, 23 points for Tyrese. I do not remember him being a Warriors player. Yeah, Will V93 is asking, who the hell is Tyrese Martin? I agree, but according to ESPN, the Warriors drafted him. That must have been like one of those things where the pick got traded, but so technically it was a Warriors pick. Anyways, last score. Look at this. The Washington Wizards, 113-100 winners over the Charlotte Hornets. I'm telling you, man, the Hornets are flailing. The Warriors going to beat them up bad Monday. Rashard Holmes, 15 points, 9 rebounds in the win for Washington. Who's Mark Williams, center of the Hornets, was the top performer for them. 24 points, 12 rebounds in the loss. And we look at the standings now. Let me get this configured for the screen. There we go. All right. Good news is the Warriors are still in 7. Should be in 6. All right, so the standings. Here we go. OKC in no danger of relinquishing the top spot. But when we look at the rest of the standings in the NBA Western Conference, the Dallas Mavericks are 10th with a 32-29 record. They have a 3.5 game lead over the Phoenix Suns. So Dallas and Minnesota are both tied for the bottom spot in the Western Conference for the play-in. Both teams 32-29. Again, they have a 3.5 game lead over the Phoenix Suns, who are currently 28-32. The Sacramento Kings are 31-28. They are currently your 8th seed. All three of those teams are currently just a half game behind the Warriors for the 7th seed. And then the LA Clippers, who play the Lakers again tomorrow, are the 6th seed currently at 32-27. The Warriors 32-28. That is a log jam. And then the Houston Rockets are your 5 seed. They're 37-23. Excuse me. There are 5 games up on the Warriors. The Memphis Grizzlies are your 4 seed with a 38-22 record. The 3 seed, insanely, are your LA Lakers, 37-21. LA and Memphis both 6 games ahead of the Golden State Warriors, and then the Denver Nuggets are the 2 seed at 39-21. So 22 games remaining in the season. That's crazy. We shall see what happens. Mitchell and Ness. Does Bob Fitzgerald complain a lot during the broadcast about back-to-backs? Mitchell and Ness in the chat writing, "Oh, great. The Knicks are the second game of a back-to-back. Bob Fitzgerald will be crying and whining about the back-to-back games all game." That's funny. I'm going to pay attention to that. All right, folks. This was a brutal one. It was just rough. But again, if you're going to be optimistic about it, the good news is it was one game. They were missing Jimmy Butler. They're missing Jonathan Kuminga. Philly had one of those nights. You know, usually when a team shoots 57.6% from 3 over 4 quarters, it's going to be hard to beat them, and that's what happened. Philly literally was 19 of 33 from beyond the arc. Quentin Grimes with an all-time game, 44 points, a career high for him. Another stat I didn't even mention in the show until now. I don't know why I waited till now to say this. The Warriors finished tonight's game with 11 straight misses from 3. Oof. 11 straight misses from 3 to finish the game for the Golden State Warriors, who shot 12 of 42 from deep, good for 28.6%. What makes that stat a million times uglier is if you take Steph and Curry out of the equation, the Golden State Warriors were just 7 of 30 in terms of three-point shooting. That's bad. That's really bad. So there you go. All right. Thanks, everyone. This was rough, but at least we all got to suffer together. And at the absolute latest, we'll be back at this Monday. Sophia Jones normally joins me, but she might miss the Monday broadcast because of a scheduling conflict with USF basketball, which she does cover as well. So we shall see who joins us for that. But 2 hours and 9 minutes, if you're still with us, and it looks like a lot of people are, thank you. And feel good Monday night when the Warriors beat the ever-living crap out of the Hornets. It's going to happen. Feel good about that. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Bye bye.